Thank you for coming back for part 2. Enjoy.
See, like if you were married for less than 2 years at the time, the form is approved, USCIS will grant your spouse conditional permanent residence status and issue a green card valid for 2 years, which is my case right now. Your spouse will need to remove the conditions on his or her residence by filing the form I-751 petition to remove condition on residence in the 90 days before his or her green card expires, which is really important, you guys. The officer told it like 5 times. It's like, this is important, this date, you need to file within 90 days. It is very important. We were like, okay, we will. And he's like, do not forget, don't forget it. Because basically my green card is valid for 2 years, not more than that. So after that goes, which apparently happened to some people, you don't have residency, you have nothing. You're poof, you're nobody. So you have to file that also, don't forget that. Completing your form accurately. You can download forms from our website, which is correct, which I did, and I will show you how to file it. Complete them electronically and then print your forms to submit by mail. If you need help, you can read our instructions. It says, do not mail a form if you're already filed it online. If you print out an online form and mail to the Locksbox, we will reject it. Okay, you cannot file it online. I don't know why this says that. You cannot file it online. When you go there to file, it is a PDF form. It makes you, like, it downloads itself to your computer when you click on it. And then you cannot file it online. I don't know why it says that. Maybe the other forms, some of them, maybe you can. I don't know. Only use the current form edition when downloading and completing a form. I'm hearing some people using the old form, so they come up with a newer edition at March or something. And the old one is still valid, I guess, but not for too long. So you have to make sure that it is still valid when you file it, basically. You don't have to file it on your computer. You can print it out, hand file it with black ink, not blue. Okay, this is very important. Make sure that everything you write on the form is clear. If you have very shitty handwriting, either write really slowly or get someone with a good handwriting, okay? Because they have to be able to read it. That's why I would suggest to file it on your computer. Probably everyone has a computer, just use your computer, okay? There are some places you need to sign. You can actually use the Adobe's signature function, and then you create a signature. Like, you can use your mouse and then you sign it. Basically, you create a signature and then put it there in black, which kind of we did in some cases. Do not use highlighters, correction fluid, or correction tape. If you made a mistake, start over. It's 12 pages. You can just print that page and fill out that page. You don't have to do all of it again, obviously, right? But you cannot send like anything with correction fluid or correction anything, right? It has to be just your handwriting or on the computer, basically. We use both black and white and grayscale scanners that will not properly read information if it's grayed out, highlighted, or corrected using correction fluid or tape. If you make an error, start over with a clean form. Like I said, it's 12 pages, not the whole form. Just print that page and then start over that page. Complete the entire form unless the form directs you to skip one or more items. Sometimes it does. It says like, okay, what was your previous spouse information? And if you're not married, obviously before, you're just gonna skip that part, right? If you do not complete all parts of the form, you may reject your submission for missing information. Yeah, submit all of that information, which is a no-brainer. You can do it. We can do it. I believe in us. It's not that difficult. I promise you it's not that difficult. We can do it. You can still get help, but I'm just sick of hearing people getting scammed. Anyway, remember to sign your form in the space provided for your signature. Very, very, very important. I do it all the time. I always forget to sign stuff, okay? When you finish, sleep on it, sleep one night, next day go over it again, which is fine. For the more information on signatures, see the USCIS policy manual. Again, this is on the website. You can go and look it up. Pay the correct fee. We will reject forms submitted with incorrect or incomplete fees. Use the fee calculator to help the firm determine the correct fee. So this refers to not just the first document. When you're filing for the green card forms, right? There's a lot of different fees. So for example, I didn't want to travel when we were waiting for my green card to be approved, right? So that is like around $600 right now, I think. So we didn't file that. So we didn't have to pay for that. But if you file and not pay, they're going to be like, this is not accurate payment. So they're gonna be like, we're not gonna do anything about it. They might send everything with the money. They're not gonna take your money, obviously, but it might, set you back for like months. You don't need that. Just calculate it right. They have field calculator, like I said, or just write it down. Or guys, like there's a lot of people helping each other, like what we're doing here, right? If you're filing multiple applications, petitions, or requests, for example, your fiance has kids, or you guys had kids, or whatever. They have dependent people, something, and you're filing for them also. So like a fiance visa, for example, and fiance's children, that's like a K-2 or something. So it's talking about that. We recommend sending separate payments for each application. Exactly. If you submit one payment for multiple forms, we reject one of those forms, we will reject all of the other forms included in that payments. So just do it separately, like separate checks, for example. I know a lot of people don't use checks. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how you would go with it if that's the case. Maybe do separate credit card payments, which makes sense to me because you would put the name and the form and whatever to the information area, I guess. Anyway, assemble your application, petition, or request. We recommend assembling your package in the following order. You don't have to, but you should, okay? Check or money order, or Form G-1450, authorization for credit card transactions. I think because of this form, my fiance at the time, my husband now, didn't want to do it with the credit card. So he did it by check. If you're paying by check or money order, write the form you are filing and your A number or other applicable identification on the check or money order. If you're paying with a credit card, see our Pay with a Credit Card web page. Like I said, they are very helpful. They're web pages for everything. The problem is you go everywhere. You click on that, it takes you to someplace else. Then that one takes you someplace else. So it's like hassle. Again, Form G-1145, request for any notification if applicable. I think my fiance filed that because then they notify you what is going on with your email. So you basically give them your email information. And then like we talked about, like Form G-28, notice of entry of appearance as attorney or accredited representative. If you're using like a lawyer, if you're using a lawyer, you don't even have to file this because they should be filing all of that. Form being filed, which is the I-29F form, right? Form supplements if being filed, if applicable. Supporting documentation, okay, this is the place people usually lose their minds, okay? Because it says one thing before when we're reading, and now it says some other stuff, some nuances and everything, so we're gonna go through everything, right? Submit the documents or evidence listed in the form instructions. So in the form, let's say it tells you like if you are married, you have to submit the death certificate or the annulment papers or the divorce papers, right? That. Supporting documents, there are other forms, other stuff like I'm going through that within the form and everything. I will be. Supporting documents must be in English or accompanied by a complete English translation that the translator has certified as complete and accurate. The English translation must be accompanied by the translator's certification that they are competent to translate the foreign language into English. Some paperwork in Turkey, you can get them in English sometimes from the government, and USCIS do accept those because they have a barcode and they can scan it. Actually, they can go to the website and they can validate the paper being accurate and real. If that's the case, you don't have to translate anything, but it's not, you might have to. Did we do it? I don't remember we had to do it, maybe the birth certificate, kinda, but we submitted something called Formula A. So that's a document with your birth information, like basically birth certificate information. Not a full birth certificate. Okay, Turkish people don't have birth certificates. Nobody has birth certificates. We have it in the system as information, so you can get that. This is very, very important part. Submit legible copies of official documents. We may scan them in black or white or in grayscale. Legible copies are copies that are not blurry or faded, do not have streaks or toner lines, are not upside down, loop-sided, skewed, or distorted, do not have text or images that are obscured, partially cut off, or missing due to folded pages or improper copying, and do not have pages that are completely illegible. So it has to be legible copies, right? If you're submitting some official documents or like copies of them or whatever, they have to be readable, basically. Do not send original documents unless they're specifically requested in the form instructions or applicable regulations, which is basically, for example, in Turkey, you can get original documents, which is legit, from the internet. Basically, you go into your electronic government page and then you can get those documents the original, technically original documents, but you can just print them out, right? They do accept those. If you send original documents with your form when they are not required or requested, we may destroy them in accordance with the Federal Records Act and applicable U.S. National Archives and Records Administration approved general retention, blah, blah, basically. They are not gonna return them to you. So if you are okay with losing them, you can send them. But if you don't wanna lose them, don't send them. That's what it's saying. But for example, with the divorce paperwork, they wanna see originals. What happens is when you get a divorce, apparently like they give you some papers, right? You can get copies of them, verified copies of them. You can send them a verified copy, but do not copy something and send them just a copy. They're gonna be like, no, we need the original. I know for people, I think like they had to wait because of this. And the beneficiary told the US citizen person in the relationship, like, we need the original. And they were like, we don't need the original. I will send you the copy. Or they get the original, copy it for no reason, send a copy. What are you thinking? They want to see the original. If there is a divorce, they want to see the original or the certified copy, okay? Pissing me off. Don't do that, please. Next thing. In most cases, a copy of USCIS notice, if available, is acceptable evidence of a prior related filing, if you're doing it like again or something. If you prefer to provide a copy of a complete prior application, petition, or request in support of a new filing, please be sure that the prior application, petition, or request is clearly marked as copy at the top of each page to ensure we process it as intended. So don't just basically send it, put copy here and not in the second page, and they're gonna be like, okay, what is this? Because you might be thinking, well, Afra, I stapled it together. They should know, they're not dumb. Yeah, they're not dumb, but they're gonna remove that staple to scan everything, and they're gonna be like, oh my God, I have like two papers, which one is the original, you know? Just don't do it. Follow whatever they're saying. Think of it this way. There's this organization with a brain of people, but you give stuff to them and they're very literal. They don't think, they just do. It's like military almost. All forms and supporting documents submitted must be single-sided, standard, letter-sized pages. Let's say you got an original Turkish document, that's not gonna be a letter size. They're not gonna deny your application because one document or something is not letter size, right? They're not gonna. My medical file, the whole file was not letter sized, okay? But yes, when you're printing it, obviously in the US it's a letter size. In Turkey, you can't even find letter size stuff. So I don't know what is that about. Please do not submit evidence using digital media, photo albums, scrapbooks, books, or binders. Yeah, they're not gonna look at any of that. We cannot process them and we'll return them to you. Basically, they're gonna be like, nope, take it back. So you have to, basically, you cannot send a USB. They're not gonna plug it into their computer. Maybe you're this hacker person and then you put some hacking stuff in it and then you're gonna hack their system and then make some video play in every computer they have. Obviously they don't want that, which never happened, in the US history. No photo albums, no scrapbooks, nothing. Just papers. If you're gonna do like pictures and stuff, what we did was like we printed them in normal paper, basically like this. It was very easy. When providing photos or other attachments, please provide your name at the top of the page or on the back of any photos, which I think we did. If you send original photos with your form, they might become part of the record or be destroyed. They're not gonna return it back to you. You may number support pages and include the total number of pages being attached. I would highly recommend doing that because let's say you put like page 1 of 11, but then they have like 8 pages, they're gonna know like, oh yeah, we have some lost pages here, and then they will probably look and find them. I would highly recommend doing that. If you forget to send in supporting documentation with your benefit request package, please do not submit in a separate package to a USCIS lockbox. If you have an online account and are able to add your paper filed case to account, you can upload the supporting documentation in your online account. You can do this not at the beginning, at the K-1 application, but you can do it for the green card. When we apply for the green card application, they send a mail. Within that mail, there was like a number, so I was able to go and create a USCIS account with that number, like with that PIN number they sent me in the mail, which is crazy to me at this day and age. Anyway, so, because they had my email and everything. I was getting emails from them, but I couldn't create that account. Anyway, so then I was able to see where's my application and how is it going, and there is a section there that you can actually upload additional documents if you want to. If you were like, oh my God, how did I forget X, Y, and Z, then you can upload it there and then it's gonna be fine. If you do not have an online account or cannot add your paper filed case to your account, please keep the supporting documentation so you can submit it later to the appropriate location upon request. They will request it from you. So don't lose your mind. The only problem is you're losing time, which you don't want to, obviously, because you love somebody and you want to marry them and all that. Mark the envelope and the cover letter with the type of submission. For example, original submission, application to register, permanent residence, or adjust status. In parentheses, Form I-485, close the parentheses. Something like that, right? Mark the envelope and the cover letter with the form number. For example, Form I-129, Form I-360, Form I-485, something. Envelope and the cover letter. When you prepare your packet, remember, do not use binders or folders that we cannot easily disassemble. Just don't, okay? Do not use heavy-duty staples. Yeah, like I said, they're gonna remove all of the staples. Do not mail responses to requests for evidence or similar notices to a USCIS lockbox location, okay? Instead, follow the instructions in that request for evidence regarding where to send your response. Don't send it to the lockbox. That's a different thing. That's like the beginning of the application. You're not beginning anything, right? Just don't do it. Waste of time. And they might even lose it and they're gonna be like, you never send it. So no green card for you, no fiance for you. You don't want that, obviously. Do not mail evidence in support of a previously filed appeal or motion to a USCIS lockbox location. If you are submitting a brief or evidence in support of an appeal, please refer to AAO Practice Manual or the Board of Immigration Appeals Practice Manual for instructions. This is something like it doesn't really is about whatever we're gonna do or talk, so I'm just passing that. If you're requesting premium processing service, submit only Form I-907 for the associated eligible form, such as Form I-140 or I-129. I don't even know what this is. I never heard it, and I did all of this, so. Mail your application, petition, or request. When addressing the package, be sure to enter the complete address provided to the USCIS website, on the USCIS website, including the attention line, which helps to ensure that we process and route the application, petition, or request. So they're gonna get the file, but they might not open it, so you're gonna be like, attention to this office, whatever, right? So they're gonna be doing that. There's only one place for K-1 also to file, to send. It's in the Texas office. What happens is this, okay? You file, you live in Arizona, just talking, and then you file, you send that, right, to Texas office. You might be living in New York, you're gonna send it to Texas. They're gonna get it, they're gonna open it, they're gonna be looking at it, and they're gonna be like, oh my God, this petitioner lives in New York, so we're gonna send it to whatever office is closest to you, okay? Doesn't matter, you're not gonna send it to the USCIS office that is closer to you. The Texas office will determine that. Mail your forms to the address listed on that form's web page. It can be different for different forms. Apparently, see, I didn't know that. You may send your forms through USPS, FedEx, DHL, or UPS. We encourage you to save a copy of your payments, exactly, along with any tracking number provided by the courier for your records so you can verify the status of its delivery. Yeah, that's exactly what we did both times. So you need to do that. If you mail your application, petition, or request to the wrong filing location, we may reject it as improperly filed and return it to you to refile. Special instructions it has. E-notification. If you want to receive an email or text message that we accepted your form at USCIS lockbox, complete the form G1145 and clip it to the first page of your form, which my now husband did at the time. Do not include anything that contains, okay, this is funny to me, that contains electronic chips and batteries, such as musical greeting cards. Guys, they're gonna x-ray it and they're gonna be like, oh my God, it's a bomb. Okay, don't do that. Or any non-paper materials such as CD-ROMs, DVDs, toys, action figures, or thumb drivers. They're not going to be even looking at those. We will not accept any of these type of materials. However, we will accept photographs or copies of these items. Any biological or genetic samples as DNA evidence. For information on DNA testing and submitting DNA samples, please visit the Department of State's webpage. Or graphic photos of childbirth or intimate relations as evidence of relationship. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. We went through all of that. Normally, you have to submit an evidence of financial support, which is what? You have to be able to obviously support your fiancé when they come here, right? They want to basically make sure that you can support them. So They will want to see the tax returns from last year, which we provided when I went to the visa appointment at the embassy, basically. But when you're first doing that, you have to prove to USCIS that you are making enough money or you have enough assets that bringing money or whatever. You should go and do your own research about this, but you have to be at least making around 20,000 a year to be able to apply and file. If you're not, you have to get a additional person basically saying that yes, this person will come and I will also support them, right? Financially, because you are responsible for them financially. So this is really important. You need to also, I don't know why the USCIS website didn't really show that, which is really weird. It shows it under the immigrant visa process, right? Submit a petition, blah, blah, an affidavit of support, okay? It is not showing that under K-1, but everyone knows that. And I was like expecting it to kind of come up. It didn't, so I'm talking about it at the end, unfortunately. Complete affidavit of support. Okay, you have to fill a form I-864. It's a document an individual signs to accept financial responsibility for the applicant who's coming to live in the United States, okay? The person who signs the affidavit of support is called the sponsor, which is gonna be you, the American. The petitioner must complete the form. However, if the petitioner's income is insufficient, a joint sponsor may agree to also complete the form on the applicant's behalf. Okay, this whole process, by the way, the first form is $675, right? In total, it takes around $3,000. And I'm not talking about the fees and stuff that your fiance in Turkey, like with the traveling and everything and all the tickets and everything, it's gonna be around, I would say $7,000. Depends on the time and all that, obviously. But it is not a cheap process. Obviously, marriage is not cheap also, and love is not cheap, unfortunately. So you need to have adequate income, basically. Okay, this is important. An affidavit of support is legally enforceable. The sponsor's financial responsibility usually lasts until the applicant either becomes a U.S. citizen or can be credited with 40 qualifying quarters of work, usually 10 years, under the Social Security Act. By signing the form, the petitioner, and including any joint sponsors if that's the case, is agreeing to use their resources if necessary to financially support the beneficiary and any dependents. If the beneficiary and dependents receive any designated federal, state, or local means tested public benefits, under U.S. law, the agency providing the benefits shall request reimbursement from the signatory person, whoever signed the form. Note: please read the following information very carefully. Failure to complete and submit the correct form will delay the processing of your case. Complete the form and gather evidence of their finances and other supporting documents, which can be your pay stubs, could be your W-4 from last year, your tax filings from last year, which my fiance at the time submitted, and they wanted to see it again. Like I said, they might want to see the same thing again and again, which is fine, which is cool. We will be just doing it, not fight the system, work with the system, okay? 2025 Poverty Guidelines Calculator. If you're in the military, active duty, for you, it is $21,150 for the 48 states. For all other sponsors, it has to be more than the poverty guideline. It's gonna have to be 125% of the poverty guideline. So it's gonna be $26,437. If you're below that, USCIS will be like, okay, you're below it. You need additional signing people, like your additional people to sign it. You can just go at the USCIS website and then there's like a affidavit of support resources, frequently asked questions, how am I gonna file this? Everything is here, okay? And then when your petition is approved, it's gonna go to NVC and then the whole process, obviously. This is very, very important. And I think a lot of people kind of gets all weirded out and then they kind of get like, oh, how am I gonna do that? You know, it's not, what financial evidence do I need to submit? Let's say we're doing a I-764, right? And we are you go into the frequently asked questions and as financial evidence assistant. I'm doing that right now. Are you completing this form as the petitioner? So let's say I have enough money and I'm petitioning. Is your mailing address and place of residence in the United States? Let's say yes. Did you file federal income taxes in the most recent tax year? But it's helping you. Look, it's helping. So let's say yes. Did you file taxes under the married filing jointly category? No, because I'm not married yet, technically, right? Do you meet the minimum income requirements? Again, there's a link. You can click to it. You can go check it. Let's say yes, I have enough money. Then you can display the result. IRS tax transcript from the most recent tax year, which can be processed more efficiently than a copy of a tax return. See? Alternatively, you may submit a complete copy of a filed tax return from the most recent tax year, which is like 70 pages. Who wants to do that? Let's say I'm the petitioner. I'm a petitioner, let's say. And I live in the US. I did file taxes. I didn't file marriedly, but I do not meet the minimum income requirements. Let's see. They want the IRS tax transcript. Okay. In addition, you might have 2 houses. You might have $20,000 income, but you maybe have 2-3 houses. I don't know if you don't know. You might be rich like that. Evidence of income, proof of assets you may choose to use. Okay. Please refer to financial evidence table. This is the complicated part because they want to make sure that you're not bringing a burden into the American taxpayers' budget, basically their money, right? You're going to bring that person, you're going to take care of them. So that's why. They might reject it. If let's say you have that much and then you have like a house or whatever, a car, they might reject it. They might ask you, you need to file this again with another person, with a joint signer, which I've seen happen. And that's not a problem. They will, if you do that, they will not be like creating problems for you. But like I said, this is a very expensive process. And when you come, you have to obviously file for green card, and that's like expensive. Because, you know, the green card and the work permit and everything, like we applied for the work permit and I did start working. I did start making money, not like full time, but, you know, and it was really, really, really important for my mental health. So I would suggest doing that. I don't know, like everybody's household is different. Everybody's life is different. So I don't know, but I would do it that way. Just saying. So you have to also submit that. Yeah, intent to marry, like we said. When you go, when you go to Google and then you just search for K-1 visa required documents, it creates a list for you also. And then you can start with that, copy and paste it, go to USCIS website, kind of cross-check it, cross-reference it, and then use it that way. So USCIS didn't show the evidence of financial support because in the did you provide the following part, it says birth certificate, no previous marriages, photograph, name change, blah, blah, evidence that you're gonna marry, and that's it basically. It doesn't say it here. See, like it's really weird. The system is weird. Their system doesn't work. They're really slow. There's still people waiting 5-6 years for the K-1 application to be processed. They didn't even look at them yet. So it's just this whole thing, okay? But yeah, you need to also put the evidence of financial support, which takes like a time to kind of fill out that form also and everything. It's not that difficult, but it's a pain in the ass, unfortunately. Okay, this is the part 1 of the video, okay? So basically this is the application for K-1, which will you be doing as the American person who's speaking English and everything, or you will get legal help, I don't know. But that is your part. Then your fiance will be doing the K-1, which I also created documents and like how to file the DS-160 and everything. I have videos for that, okay? I will be doing a video for the green card application, but guys, these are like really long videos and it takes a long time to film and edit and post and everything. So it's gonna be like another month or so. But in the meantime, if you have questions, you can ask me those questions. If you have questions about other stuff, like what is it to be married to a Turkish person and stuff like that, I can also try to answer all of those questions, obviously. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, even though if it's a Turkish channel, but I will be maybe posting some English stuff. I did have an English channel, but I didn't really start posting at all. So I might start doing that. I don't know if you guys want to see more videos like this. So yeah, thank you for watching and please subscribe to my channel and please like this video. And if you comment and stuff, that will be really helpful for me. So thank you so much. I love you guys. And like I said, we can do it. I believe in us, okay? We can file it. We can do it. We don't have to give $2,000 to any people, shady people, not lawyers. A real lawyer would file and do not scam people out of a $2,000 and not even file a $675 document, okay? Pissing me off. Anyway, thank you for watching again. Bye-bye.